What's up, guys? Beckham is here. We at Smallville, season 7, episode 18, Apocalypse. Okay, so this episode starts off with Chloe asking Clark what he's gonna do about you know, the whole Kara being on Krypton thing, and Clark's like, I'm not gonna do anything. She's like, wait, what? And he's like, it it's his fault. Why all sorry, sorry. It's his fault. Why everything's happening? Why the meteors happened? Everything, and she's like, no, and he's like, everything would have been better if he never came to her. If Clark, everything would have been right if Clark never came to Earth. So then the stone, the arcanical key, it like glows, and Clark gets to live that life where he never, came to Earth, and where he never came to Earth, Martha and Jonathan ended up adopting a kid named Clark Kent, and yeah, and Clark's like, and Clark, or alternate Clark's like, hey, get off my property, and he's like, do you know where my parents are? And he's like, parents, you just got here, dude. And he's like, that's weird. If in this version Clark never existed, why is he in here? So yeah. So he's like, where's Martha and Jonathan? He's like, they're not here. They're on a cruise celebrating my dad's birthday. So yeah. So he bumps into this version of Chloe where and she's like, do you know who Lana Lang is? And she's like, me and Lana weren't that close in high school. We didn't swim in the same social pond. So this proves that if it wasn't for Clark being there, Chloe and Lana would have never been friends. And Chloe even has a fiance who isn't given a name. We just know it's. We thought her fiance would be Jimmy, but no. So it's not Jimmy. It's just some random guy credited as Chloe's fiance. So he goes to the Daily Planet and he runs into Jimmy and Lois, and we find out what happened to Lana. Lana eventually moved to Paris, met a French guy, and they had 2 kids together after she went to art school. So yeah, and his name is Pierre Rosset, or the French version of Pete Ross. That's her. As I read, that's her. That's her fiance. That's her husband in the comics. So yeah, and he runs into Lois, but he also runs into Linda Danvers, aka this version of Kara. This version of Kara, while Clark didn't crash on Earth, she did, and she was raised by Lex and his father until, unfortunately, Lex's father died, just like in this. And he's like, why are they taking Lois? And he's like, you better ask the president, Lex Luthor. Yeah. So why do you need? So he puts Jimmy up and he's like, tell me where they're taking Lois. So yeah, so Clark's able to break Lois out of there, and they realize, and yeah, there's even a funny scene where Michael Rosenbaum, who plays Lex, was supposed to be, and he didn't have a teleprompter, so he told the director, who was Tom Welling, he was like, where's my bleeping, where's my effing or bleeping, I'm the bleeping president, where's my teleprompter? And Tom Welling told him that I read this, he's like, that you didn't memorize it, or you memorized it. So I think it's very funny that he actually swore that he's the president. Well, anyway, Lex is like, Lex is like, they're like, hey, he doesn't have any missiles. So yeah. So yeah. So Clark. So Linda Danvers, or Kara, is like Lex. Is like you always. I always had you as a brother, Lex, and I always stand by your side. But you cannot trust Milton Fine, aka Brent. You cannot trust Milton Fine, and yeah. So once Kara meets up Milton Fine, he's like, Milton Fine, Brainiac, and yeah, but yeah, so he's like, so he's like, he's a Kryptonian. You gotta hear him out, Lex, and he hears him out. But Lex is like, I'm just gonna still do what Milton Fine says, and shoots Lex, shoots Kara, and yeah, and Lex's whole plan is to blow up the Earth, blow up Smallville, so he can re-evolutionize it and have the people that survive it follow him. Lex is trying to create 100 before the 100. Basically, never saw the show, but I basically know the premise. So Lex is trying to create the 100 before the 100. Cause yeah, so yeah, and he tells them to do it, but Clark's like no, and everything starts happening, and Clark and Milton finds about to shoot him, but then we see Clark into this teleportal thing, and he's like, it was you, Jor-El, you created that timeline, and he's like, it was your purpose to go to Earth, Clark, and now you have to go to Krypton and and you have to stop Brainiac from killing you. It's your own. I'm only giving you the second chance. So it reappears and he's like, Chloe, I gotta go to Krypton. So he goes up there. Kara fights him. He's about to kill baby Kal-El when yeah, he's about to kill baby. So when not Lois, when what's her name, our Kara stops him and beats him up, stabs him, and kicks him in the face. And Clark shows up. He's like, put him in the pod, and he sends him to Earth. And that's when, and they get off before Krypton explodes. So yeah, and she's like, and Kara's like, what if you could go back, Clark, and prevent Krypton's explosion? And he's like, Kara, we can only look forward to the future, not the past. So yeah. So yeah, and Lois. Yeah, and Clark is like, hey, and Lex is like, hey, I checked in on condition. The doctors say it's irreversible. So Clark goes into the day plan, and yeah, and Clark and Lex kind of have a bonding moment, Clark is like, uh, and Clark's like, I'm not trying to take your job, Lois. I'm just trying to look this up and about comas, and they end up leaving. They end up leaving, talking to each other, and basically that's how the episode. And so yeah, so this episode was really good. It showed us what Clark's life would have been like if he never came to Earth. Lana and Chloe would have never been friends. Lana would have went to married a French guy, and Kara would have been basically Carl Luther. Not actually Carl Luther, but Linda Luther. She would have been Linda Luther because she said that her dad found that Lionel found her. So she would have been basically Linda Luther. So Clark and 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 Clark would. And also, I forgot to mention that Sheriff Nancy Adams is also alive in this version. So yeah, so Clark actually goes to Sheriff Adams, and yeah, so unlike Sheriff Adams isn't alive in the real timeline, in the no Clark around timeline, she's alive. So yeah, I forgot to mention that Clark actually went to her. It was pretty cool. So, but I'm glad he's back. So like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you next Smallville.